Right now, we are witnessing an incredible revolution. But it's not happening in some Silicon Valley lab. It's happening out in our fields. Today, we're diving into the amazing technologies that are completely rewriting the rules of agriculture, all to solve some of the biggest challenges our planet has ever seen.
And get this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. The numbers are staggering. By next year, the vast majority of large-scale farms are projected to be using AI. This isn't just a minor upgrade. It's a total transformation of how we grow our food, and it is happening right now.
So you might be asking, why the huge rush? Why this urgent need for change? Well, it all boils down to this one massive number. By 2050, the global population is expected to hit nearly 10 billion people. That is an unbelievable number of mouths to feed, and our current food systems are already stretched pretty thin.
And the thing is, it's not just about more people. That's just one piece of the puzzle. This is all happening at the same time as a perfect storm of other crises. We're dealing with more extreme climate events, losing precious farmland, facing huge shortages in farm labor, and still struggling with old, inefficient methods. So these new technologies, they're not just a cool new thing. They're an absolute necessity.
Okay, so with a challenge that big, where do you even start? Well, the first step is to make the farm intelligent. We're moving into a whole new era where data, pure information, is becoming just as important as the soil itself. This is how we build the brain of the modern farm.
The core idea behind all of this is something called precision agriculture. I want you to forget the old one-size-fits-all approach. This is all about using technology to treat every single plant, every square foot of soil with exactly what it needs, no more and no less. It's about optimizing everything to get the most out of our resources.
So, how do they do it? It's pretty cool, actually. Think of it like giving the entire farm its own central nervous system. You've got tiny IoT sensors in the ground, constantly checking moisture and nutrient levels. You've got drones and satellites acting as eyes in the sky, spotting problems way before a human ever could. It all creates this constant, real-time picture of everything happening on the farm.
Okay, but that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? It's one thing to have all this data flooding in from sensors and drones, but what do you do with it? How do you turn that tidal wave of information into smart, actionable decisions?
And that is where AI comes into play. Artificial intelligence is the brain of the operation. It's the thing that can sift through all that sensory data, find hidden patterns, and actually predict things, like when a disease might strike. It's the intelligence that tells a robot exactly where to spray, or an irrigation system exactly when to turn on.
So you've got the farm's nervous system collecting data and the AI brain making sense of it, but you still need the muscle. You need a way to actually get the work done. And that brings us to the rise of the robo-farmers, where automation is literally the new muscle on the farm. And we are not talking about simple, clunky machines here. This is a whole new generation of incredibly sophisticated autonomous robots. They are doing jobs you'd think only a human could handle, planting seeds with millimeter precision, zapping individual weeds with lasers, and even gently picking delicate fruits like strawberries without leaving a single bruise. When you put the two methods side by side, the difference is it's night and day. On one hand, you have traditional harvesting. It's expensive, it's slow, and it completely depends on finding people to do the work. On the other hand, you have robotic harvesters that can work 24/7, dramatically cut labor costs, and are so precise they barely waste a thing. It is a total game changer.
But it gets even cooler. The next evolution here is something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction: swarm robotics. Instead of one giant, expensive tractor, I want you to picture this: a whole fleet of small, smart robots working together, kind of like a colony of ants. They talk to each other to divide up tasks, covering huge fields with incredible speed. And if one of them breaks down, no big deal. The others just pick up the slack.
All right, so we've made the farm smarter, and we've given it robotic muscle. But the next leap, this one is probably the most profound of all. What if, instead of just optimizing how we grow our food, we could fundamentally redesign the food itself, right down to its biological code?
Welcome to the world of synthetic biology. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's basically biological programming. But instead of writing computer code, scientists are editing the code of life, DNA, to design new biological systems that solve specific problems, like creating a tomato plant that needs almost no water.
And this isn't just a theory, it's already happening in some amazing ways. You've got tools like CRISPR, which let scientists make super precise edits to a plant's genes to make it naturally pest resistant. And then you have something that totally flips farming on its head: vertical farming. We're talking about growing crops indoors, in stacked layers, producing food all year round in the middle of a city, using up to 95% less water. It's incredible. The results are pretty mind-blowing. We're creating brand new, sustainable proteins from things you'd never expect, like algae and fungi. And then there's cellular agriculture, growing real meat from animal cells in a lab. No farm required. This isn't science fiction anymore. These are real solutions that could drastically reduce the environmental footprint of what we eat.
Okay, so let's take a step back. We've got the smart AI brain, the robotic muscle, and we're even redesigning the biological building blocks. The final piece of the puzzle is connecting all of it together into one seamless, trustworthy system.
And that connection is being built with, believe it or not, blockchain. Now, I know you're probably thinking about cryptocurrency, but forget that for a second. In agriculture, think of blockchain as a permanent, unhackable digital receipt for your food. Every single step, from the moment a seed is planted to the moment you pick it up in the store, is logged forever.
The scale of this is just massive. We're talking about securing hundreds of billions of dollars worth of our food supply. But what does it mean for you? It means trust. It means you could scan a code on your apple and see not just where it came from, but exactly when it was picked. It's a powerful weapon against food fraud and waste.
So let's just quickly pull all those threads together. You've got precision agriculture optimizing resources. You have robotics cutting down on harmful chemicals. Biotech is creating stronger crops. Vertical farming is saving incredible amounts of water and land. And blockchain is tying it all together to reduce fraud and waste. Every single piece plays a vital role.
Now, of course, it's not all smooth sailing. This kind of revolution doesn't happen without hitting some bumps in the road. These technologies cost a lot of money up front. We need to train farmers with entirely new skill sets. And in many rural areas, you can't even get a reliable internet connection. Plus, there are big questions about data security and regulations that are still trying to catch up.
But, and this is a big but, if we can overcome those hurdles, the payoff is absolutely immense. We are looking at a future with way more productivity, but also way more sustainability. Farms will be more efficient, and they'll be much safer places to work. And for all of us, we'll get a level of transparency and trust in our food that we've never had before.
And I think this is a really important point. This isn't about replacing farmers with robots. It's about creating a new kind of partnership, a symbiosis really, where the technology handles the repetitive data-crunching tasks, which frees up humans to focus on the big picture, strategy, innovation, and management.
And that leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. As technology totally transforms the field, what does it even mean to be a farmer anymore? The role is shifting away from physical labor and towards being a technologist, a data scientist, and a manager of this incredibly complex new ecosystem. And that transformation might just be the most profound one of all.